Power Up Talk Show, a talk show where we bring together community leaders and inspirational people that are making a difference in our community. I am Sandy Spady, your host, and welcome to today's show. Wow, I have amazing Jodi
Krymuza.
Say that 3 times. I'm not doing it. Welcome, my friend. Okay, she is a business coach, speaker, soon to be released author who left a 20-year executive HR career to follow her purpose. Now she helps people that are overwhelmed to build their lives and businesses that truly fit who they are. She's the creator of the Vision Blueprint. I can't wait to find out about that. And the founder of Authentically Yours Development. Let's welcome Jodi. Woo!
So excited to be here.
Oh, Jodi, tell the world, who are you? Like, I've known Jodi for years. She was on the Women with Voices board 4 years ago. And then she got overly busy, which I love when women are successful. And then she started the Authentically Design. She was doing everything. So we just got to catch up with Jodi today.
Yeah, sounds great. So first of all, thank you guys for having me here. Thank you, Sandy. So Sandy actually saw me through a lot of my journey. And so, yeah, I left corporate America about 5 years ago, had a very successful career in HR, reached where I wanted in my goals, was at the high level on HR, loved it, thought I was living my dream life. I was living my dream life, and traveled globally, supported about 4,000 employees globally, and so that was where I wanted to be. That when I said my dreams, that's where I was. And then one conversation with my boss happened, and if it would have happened on another day, I might have reacted to different, but for some reason that day, it just really hit a chord, and I quit on the spot, which was very unlike me because I was very stable, very risk adverse. I had just got married 6 months earlier. I was the breadwinner, and instead of calling my husband to tell him that I was thinking about quitting, I quit, and then I text him.
Oops.
Yes. And thank goodness my husband was like, okay, we'll figure it out. And that's just who Dave is. So the next 5 years has been quite the journey. I didn't know what I wanted to do because that's what I thought I was going to do. Yeah. And all of a sudden I wasn't doing that. And so while I was still working for corporate, I was just doing like house projects and flipping furniture in my basement, in my garage, because that's what I love to do, just for creative and stuff. And so all of a sudden this HR exec all of a sudden turned into a furniture flipper. And that's what I started doing. And it's been a journey. And then my husband quit his job a year later, and we started flipping homes together. And that was great. But then there was a big aha moment that I missed something that I used to do. And it was really about helping people find their purpose with coaching. So it's been quite the journey. But I think I spoke at Women with Voices. And at that time when I spoke, it was the first time I was really ever vulnerable. And I had my dream house was going on the market that week. So it's been a journey.
It's been a journey. And I love when women with voices that they speak, because a lot of times they're so nervous or they're really being vulnerable of sharing something that's, the world wouldn't know, right? And just being a true person. Right. And I think that's the success behind Women with Voices for all these years, really. It's just like women supporting women in a safe spot to share your journey.
I felt very safe, and I was, like you said, very nervous. I had my paper and I was shaking like crazy, which is crazy because I would be in front of thousands of people before and speaking in previous career, and all of a sudden I was in front of 30 people and I could barely even talk. Yeah. And tears started coming down, and I was never a very emotional person. Yeah. But I've learned to be a little bit more vulnerable, and it's okay, and to trust that. Yeah. So it was a great experience, a tough experience, but it was a great experience.
And what I find that women that speak with Women with Voices, after they speak, like they get a whole sense of confidence that they didn't know they had, right? Yes. Like they go off and write books, or they want to speak, they want to be an entrepreneur. And that's so much of the success stories I hear from Women with Voices, and I just love that.
So thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. I love it, because look at you go. She's just in a dance that she's like, my book is coming out or something. Yes. What was that milestone you were doing?
Yes.
The somersaults. And I was like, ooh, I love it.
I did some cartwheels and high kicks, which is, I'm a little bit older. So cartwheels are a little bit different.
Yeah.
You're not used to going upside down.
Yes.
But I did it.
Yeah, I know.
And I was sore the next day.
I know it. So tell us, how did you go about being an author, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a lot of work personally. I know it's a lot of work. Yeah. What made you motivate yourself to really just take that step to do it?
So if you had asked me 8 months ago if I was going to write a book, that wasn't even on my radar,
Yeah.
not at all on my radar. And something, I was having a conversation with something and something just clicked. And I'm like, you know what? I think I have a lot of stories that I could share, and that I also can not only share my stories, but how I can help maybe have people think of things from a different perspective. And so I started the journey, reached out to a publisher, and I think back of what my first conversations with her was until where they are now, completely different. My book has evolved quite extensively because a lot of things have just happened in the last 6 months, and it gave me a lot of time just to reflect. At first, my book was going to really be about how to leave corporate America.
Yeah.
And then I did a lot of reflection. I'm like, no, I don't want everybody to leave corporate America. What I want is people to follow who they are, their authentic self. My business is called Authentically Yours, and it's to follow their authentic self, and it's really based on your values and your why and your foundation. And so it has evolved, and it's more heartfelt, and it's not just to leave corporate, it's just to make sure that you're living your life the way that you want to live your life. Yeah. And define success, what means to you, not to what society means. Yeah. And so a lot of us think that we have to, our success is what society tells us, or our parents, or whatever. And I've done a lot of just reflection, and I want to help people figure out what success means to them. So it has changed. In that 6 months, I also got a concussion for 2 months, and so that had me stop in my tracks.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so that was some.
Were you doing summer job, like summer salts, or what were you doing?
I was telling your daughter earlier that it was something very silly. I was working on my book at a coffee shop, and I went to the bathroom, and I leaned over in the stall, and I hit my head on a purse hook.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to be more careful now.
I wish it was a more exciting story, like that I was doing like some kickboxing or something, but no, it was a purse hook.
Wow.
So it stopped me in my tracks, but I think back to it, I think that was, the universe was definitely telling me that I needed to slow down. Wow. And that was the only way for me to slow down, is to actually hit me over the head.
Yeah, it literally hit me over the head. I love it. Yes. Wow. Yeah. So were you just couldn't concentrate?
I couldn't do anything. Like I had to sit in my basement for 2 weeks straight and not do anything.
Do you have headaches, or is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was a journey, and then I also went to Africa on a mission trip during this process, and so that helped me reflect too, of like really what was important and like really who I was. And so I do believe everything happens for a reason and stuff, and it was just a great thing. And so when I came back from the concussion from Africa, I even had more clarity of what I wanted the book to be done. So I thought the book would have been done in February, but because of all these things happened, it's prolonged a little bit, but it's actually for the right reason.
Yeah, for the right reasons.
Yeah. So
all that happened not for accident, right? Tell me about the African trip. What'd you do for that?
So I went with my stepdad and some of our church group, and they have a foundation to help children there to it's very, children that are having zero money. And so $500 goes for one child to go to school the whole year. And it's to help them with school, books, food, everything. And so this foundation, where I'm from, Columbus, two of the ladies started it. And so my stepdad really wanted to go, so I said I'd go with him. And so we got him and I got to spend 10 days together, which was amazing to spend with one of your parents at this age. And we got to help a bunch of kids and learn about their programs and go to their churches. And when you realize that these children have nothing but are so grateful and just so excited that you're there, it just puts things in perspective. I mean, they literally have nothing. Yeah. But yet they are the kindest people. The families were the kindest to us and welcomed their arms up to us. So it just was another good reflection exercise.
Was there one particular child that stood out to you? Or is there just
so many? I mean, so many. And so I was able to raise funds before I went. So I raised $2,000. Nice. So I was able to help with my friends and family to support 4 kids for a whole year of school. So which was just amazing. And I got to meet the mother of the 4 kids. It was a family.
Wow. So you had a whole family you supported. Yeah.
Which is me and friends and family. I just started sharing it with people about what I was doing, and people wanted to give, which was fantastic. So yeah, an awesome experience.
And they're out of Columbus?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, you probably know them.
I probably do. How long were you gone? Like 12 days or how long?
We were gone for 10 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it was a great experience, a lot of things. I did have some passport issues, so I ended up in passport immigration jail for a little bit, which was not great, but once again, it was another reflection exercise it taught me a lot about how to reframe. I talk a lot about reframing and helping my clients, And I really had to refrain when I was in immigration jail.
Yeah. Oh, you and I have a whole wine night for that. I might have a little immigration story with passports too.
Yeah, so I was like,
It
okay.
really helps you. Woo!
I could get mad and I could go to real jail,
Yeah.
or I could just chill out and let things will happen the way they're supposed
Yeah,
to.
I just grabbed my rosary and I just prayed, get
Yes.
me out of here. Get me out of here. Yeah, and it worked. So,
It is.
yes, that
Yes.
is awesome
Yeah.
story, Jodi. I
Yeah.
love how your book just pivoted, right?
Yes.
And that you saw that and your publisher saw that. And so you pivoted because you don't have to get it done right away.
Nope.
I know right now, I mean, 5 years ago when I moved to Omaha, so many of my chamber members, when I worked for the Great Omaha Chamber, I was doing book launches. Yeah. Carissa, our friend,
Yes.
I helped her do hers, and Angela, like so many of these amazing women. And I think the possibilities that anyone can do a book really started like after the pandemic. I feel like people had time to ponder and think. And any woman, I you know, as the founder of Women with Voices, I always say each of us have a book. And each of us will touch people that are meant to be touched with that book. So I love that you're doing that.
Yeah. And I think like if you 5 years ago, I would say this was the expectations that needed to be done right now, and I've really let that go and say, who told me that I needed to be done in February? Well, I told myself that, but that doesn't mean that's when it needs to be done. And like I said, I'm so glad that I give myself grace because it's actually going to be so much better.
Yes.
You know, and so letting go of certain crazy expectations that we put for ourselves, like they're just crazy. They're not real expectations. We just make those expectations. So I'm like, who told me that I had to have that done at that time? Nobody, me.
I know. Sometimes we're our worst enemy,
Yeah.
right?
And I'm like, no.
And then it's okay then to be your best friend. It's okay.
Yes.
You don't have to get it done.
Correct.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. You were actually one of the speakers again. Was it 4 years later? Yeah, 4 years later as the author. We had 12, I think, was it 12 or 10? Amazing young authors, women, and women with voices. What did you learn from speaking the first time for 4 years later speaking about your passion with your book?
So the passion about the book, I was super vulnerable again, and it was very, I was open. That was the first time that I talked about the book about anybody at your event. And so once again, very nervous because it's personal to me. I can get up and teach anything, but now all of a sudden it's about my life and things that I probably didn't share with people when it was happening, right? Because I was trying to be strong and all the things. And so it was great. And I was like, I knew after I spoke at your event that I'm like, yes, this is totally not what I'm supposed to be doing. And I mean, I had water. My mouth was like so dry, like it was like cotton mouth because I was just so nervous.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is going on? And I had a great support system that came, which was amazing.
I think she won the prize with the most people coming to the event for support. I think you had like 12 people.
It was great.
And when people stood up, I'm here for Jodi, I'm here for Jodi. I'm like, she's got her squad right here, people. Yes. I love that.
But it was such a great reflection of like why your tribe is so important, right? To support you. And like my mom came, which was great. And she had not heard much about my book either. And so, and once again, I'm used to be the one that's super strong. So for people, my friends, my family to see that I'm vulnerable has been a real wake-up call for them too. Like, okay, Jodi did go through some stuff and she didn't share it with us at the time, but she actually has gone through it. And that really connects people even more. So yeah, so it was a great experience. Once both experiences were great, I would say I felt more confident the second time.
I felt it,
But I was still nervous because it was vulnerable.
Yeah, I'm vulnerable. That could be nerve-wracking. And what was so interesting with me that evening is that every woman that was writing a book had a different purpose behind that book. Each book was so different. And it just proves, once again, that we all have a book within us.
Yes, and all the feels. Everybody that got up was so many feels of like, oh my goodness. Like, it was amazing. Just an amazing community. And just want to read everybody's book because it was fantastic.
I know. I love it. I love bringing women together. It's my thing. Okay, I'm really intrigued by the vision blueprint.
Yeah.
Tell me all about that, Jodi.
Sure. So when I started thinking about, I was going to help my main customers are entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, small businesses. I'll help corporations, but they really need to make sure that I feel good about their values. And so the vision blueprint is something that I created. It's kind of like a strategic plan, but yet not a corporate-y strategic plan, right? Because we all got out of corporate to not do that, right? And so the vision blueprint is focused on values. V is values, and then I is inspiration, S is strengths. The other I is insights, outcomes, and navigation. And so basically I help my clients navigate through that. But we have to have the values super strong first. Before we talk about your goals, anything like that, we need to make sure that we set your values in place, what they are, and really understand why you're doing the things you're doing. Because as you know, things get tough. And it's super easy just to throw in the towel. or competition's there, and you know, like what sets you apart from others.
Yeah.
And so it's really getting very strong about who they are. And that is why I left my corporate job, is because the person I was talking to, his values were not aligned with mine. And as I wrote the book, I really realized everything that felt icky in my life, it could have been professional or personal. If it felt icky, I was writing, I'm like, it all goes back to my values.
Yeah.
It's because there was an alignment. Not saying that the person was wrong or I was wrong, it just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, so that is the foundation of everything I teach, is really making sure people stick to that. And then we come up with a strategy to make sure that you're successful in your business or your career or your small business or your side hustle, whatever that is. Yeah. But it has to be focused on values.
How do you help someone find their values?
Lots of different questions, reflection questions, workbooks, things like that we really just dive in and understand, okay, and then making sure that they're showing up in all aspects. Because I always give the example, like, say you see somebody on social media, right, and they're super lively and all this stuff, and then you're like, oh, I can't wait to meet them. And then you meet them, and they're completely different. Yeah. Most people are like, I don't trust that person, right, because they're two different people. Yeah. So whatever your values are, making sure that you're showing up every time that way.
Nice.
You know, and so I told somebody the other day that I was going to an event and I wasn't feeling it, like my energy wasn't there. I actually turned back around because I'm like, if I don't show up to the event that I show up like on social, people are gonna be like, yeah, that's not the same person. Yeah. So I know where my energy's at, and if it's not there, I'm not gonna force it.
Absolutely.
Right? Because it's so critical to me of just showing up authentically. Sometimes it's a hot mess. Sometimes I'm doing cartwheels.
Yeah,
sometimes
I like
I'm polished.
And I'm pretty much going to be dancing. So just to let you know, that's everywhere in my bathroom, at home by myself, on here. I'm going to be dancing.
You can dance, and I'll do cartwheels behind you.
We'll be like, woohoo, squat team. Tell me about the one thing that stood out. Let me think. As far as HR, right? Where do you find that your strengths with all those years of experience with HR that you can help your clients with now? Like, is it bookkeeping? Is it accounting? Is it like how to handle, like, tell me a little bit about that. Because I feel like that's kind of a strong thing right now, is amazing HR people with experience are coming out. Yeah. And like, what can you help them in that with all the years that you have?
So I'd say a lot about understanding yourself and other people, right? And so really understanding that we're different and that's okay. But how do we communicate? How do we make decisions? And so really making sure that you understand that. So a lot of mine is people development, right? And understanding your teams or your customers. And really seeking into them, because we're all different, and the way that I communicate with you might be different than I communicate with somebody else. And you want to make sure that you don't have to be the same person, but you have to seek to understand their perspectives. And so I think a lot of that, when I was in HR, I had to listen to everybody's stories, and I had a lot of different team members that always didn't get along. And I'm like, okay, we don't have to have the same kind of personalities, but we have to understand each other's differences and leverage each other's talents and their strengths. And so really focusing on that and understanding people as individuals, I would say that's a lot of my HR knowledge. Now I have all the compliance stuff and things like that I can help people make structure. Hey, make sure your contracts are in place, otherwise you could get in trouble, you could get sued, all those kind of things, to making sure that people are thinking from that perspective too. But it's really making sure that you understand people. Like, I love people. I love people development, love how things work up here, everything ticks, how you can work together, you know.
People every day. Every day you walk out, it's people. And it's really, the one thing I have my Power Masterminds, I really embrace of being who you are. Try to be someone else, and don't look at competition as a bad thing, because you learn it from each other, right? And we all have enough people in the world to please and have customers, right? So it's really about just embracing how you want to represent yourself, how you can help people. And sales 101. I mean, I've sold my entire life. Christy Anderson was here, we were talking about 100% commissions. And I never sold, right? I just did what was right. I got to know people, build those relationships. And if I had something that worked out for them, great. If not, I just placed a seed, and they're going to send someone my way.
I totally believe, totally. No competition, community, connection, way over competition. I mean, you and I are both business coaches, but we can support each other.
Absolutely.
And somebody that might be a great client for you might not be a great client for me, and vice versa, or at different parts in their life. They're like, oh, I need to learn this from Sandy. I need to learn this from Jodi. And that's totally cool.
I love that there's so many different business coach, right? We all have our niche, right? I kind of think I'm a little PR coach too, but it's like, use all of us at some point, right? We all have something different, like you said, and we all complement each other.
And I'd say in corporate, I don't think most people are taught that. It's like more like, you know, kind of step on each other's back to get up the ladder, you know, and like that never felt good to me when I worked at corporate. And like, we can all support each other and utilize each other's talents. But I think society teaches us to kind of be that way, to be competitive, you know, and it's not healthy and it doesn't feel good either.
It's not fun.
No.
I know when I sold advertising, right? I sold TV. I never ditched the radio, the print, everything. Like I would say we all do something good and something different. Put us together and it's called a campaign, right? You put a couple of coaches together and you're covered, right? With all of that. It really is investing in yourself and feeling that you have the right to invest in yourself.
Yeah, but I talked about one of my previous bosses. Him and I were very, very different, but we learned how we leverage each other's talents. So when we'd come in to teach something for a big group of people, he would like take that rabbit out of the hat at the very last moment. I'd make sure that like, we need to make sure that our people are fed. We need to have a location. And so if he just managed it, it'd be it'd kind of be a hot mess in certain areas. If I just managed it, it'd be a hot mess in certain areas. But when we came together, it was awesome. And so like leveraging each other's talents and like celebrating each other's talents is huge.
So important. I know at the beginning of my masterminds class every month, we celebrate celebrations, professionally, business, everywhere. Because I think women in general, we love to support everyone but ourselves sometimes. And I often say you have to be your cheerleader first yourself.
I love that. Yes. When I talk to my clients too, I talk about their strengths. And it's so hard for people to talk about their strengths. I'm like, you guys, you're so good at this. They're like, what? I don't want to talk about this. I'm like, this is what's going to set you apart, not competition, but just showcase who you are. Who you are. And so that's just a tough thing for women, especially. Men, not as tough.
Yeah, I think they have. I can do that. But yeah, women, because we're caretakers, right? We really care about people's feelings.
And we think we're bragging if we're talking about something that we did good. And like, no, you worked hard to do that. That's okay.
It's okay. I love that we both think that way. I love that. I love that. Okay, as far as, you know, taking the corporate life, what is it that, with your corporate experience, that you did it because it's corporate, but now you're like, I'm done with that. Is there anything that you won't want to bring in from your corporate life besides probably what you just said about, you know, stepping on each other and, you know, really focusing on, you know, like, I'm never going to do this. Like, I was forced to do this in corporate because I was in corporate, but now I'm free. I don't have to do this. And I'm going to advocate not to do this.
I mean, I love having my own schedule, like the flexibility of schedules. I think that's important, not having somebody dictate to you everything that you need to do day in and day out, right? And so a lot of that I think is great. Somebody asked me if I'd ever go back to corporate, and I'm like, not a chance, right? I think I'd probably have to fire myself the first day. Because I'm like, no, that's not how you say that or not how you do that. But I mean, I learned a ton from corporate. I'm super blessed in my career, and I traveled a lot, so I got to see a lot of the world, which was great. Something that I wouldn't do, I can't think right now. Like, I don't think it would be politics. You know, I wouldn't play that game, but I didn't really play it that much in the first place. I don't think I played it. I'm sure there's some, you know.
Well, I think you kind of said it when you said not stepping on each other's feet like you do in corporate and just supporting each other.
Yeah, just big support and staying true to who I am. Even if the corporation believed in something and I believed in something else, just making sure that my voice was really heard, right? And I probably at some times was a little bit more quiet leaving corporate. I mean, when I left, that was pretty loud and clear, you know, like it definitely caught people's attention of why, like, how did Jodi just leave all of a sudden in one day? And it wasn't an easy process. I didn't get a lot of support during that process. Like, nobody understood it. So, because they knew who I was in corporate, and all of a sudden I wasn't that person anymore. So I don't blame anybody, but there wasn't a lot of support when I left. And they're like, well, you can go back to corporate. I'm like, no, I'm not going to. And they're like, Jodi, you're just having a little fit. You just need to get back to corporate. I'm like, no, I'm not actually going to, you know? And so just really being true to who you are.
I think, I love how you pivoted, right? So you flipped homes, you'd have like your messy painting clothes on. You had a retail location for a little bit, right?
I did. Yeah.
And I love that you're so honest about how you just really pivoted. Now, does your husband still do that?
Yep, he does general contracting. Okay. So him and I were flipping together, and so and he's the one that also encouraged me to coach. He's like, you need to go back into this, which is great. Sometimes you don't see it; other people close to you see it.
Absolutely.
You know. And so he still does general contracting, and he loves it. I help sometimes. We bought a flipper. We sold our dream home and bought a complete flipper. So we live in complete renovation right now. And people love to see that. They love to see spouses
I know, I renovating. Love watching it. I love it. I love watching the transformation, right?
Yes. Takes us a little bit longer right now because we don't do it full time at our house. But And so he continues his general contracting and loves that, helps people. And like, he loves to run his own business too. And I help him on the back end.
Yeah.
Because like social media is not his strongest, accounting and finance is not his favorite thing to do. It's not my favorite either. But as a business owner, you got to do some of those things. You got to make sure that you get paid and stuff like that. So it's been quite the journey. And at first I thought that pivoting was bad, right? That, okay, I quit corporate and I need to stay in this career. Like, this is what I need to do now because people are going to be confused. And I'm like, no, this is my life. Like, I can pivot if I want. And if this doesn't make sense, pivot.
And that's so interesting that you brought that up, because I work with, so many women open up to me, and some of them are like, I don't know if I like being my own boss. And I look at them and I'm like, then go back to what you were doing. You can always go back. It doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean that, you couldn't take it. It's okay, right? Like, it's okay if you want to continue, but if you want to go back to, I find a lot of women sometimes struggle. I'm like, this isn't for me. I don't like being my own boss. I'm like, you don't have to.
Correct.
And what's so great about being around the positive people, right? That they can support you no matter what area you go. Because you don't have regrets. Correct. I tried it. I did it. It wasn't for me. Yep. And the same thing with you. Like, I tried, this, flipping, all this, but you were missing your true calling, right? All those years of experience.
Yep.
And so it's okay.
And I love flipping homes. I still love it. Like, I still love throwing a sledgehammer and all that stuff. But like you said, my true calling was to really help people and see the best in themselves. Yeah. But I think a lot of us as humans, we feel like that people are going to judge us if we change our mind, or so we're afraid, or we're afraid of success, or we're afraid of failure, right? And so that's why we won't make those changes. And I finally said, you know what, people are not watching me as much as I think they are, right? So if I pivot, they might be like, oh, that's kind of confusing, but they're not like thinking about it all day and all night like I'm thinking about it. Like, so get over yourself.
Yes.
And it's okay to pivot because it's your life. Figure out what works the best for you and make where you're happy at. And so I've made multiple pivots, and they've all made sense. Well, not always make sense, but they always have added something to my life and taught me something.
It's a journey.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I learned from that. Yeah. I learned that I don't want to do that again. Don't do this, you guys. But like, I learned through all the exposure.
I mean, I'm changing too. Like, it doesn't matter. It's your life. Do what you want. If someone doesn't like it, and then they're not your people, right?
Exactly.
Jodi, how can we get a hold of you?
Yes.
How the audience is like wanting more of Jodi. Where do we find you?
So Authentically Yours Development on all the socials.
Okay.
And then I'll be posting a lot of stuff about the book coming up. I have different classes. I offer different events, classes for clients. A lot of it's like chaos to clarity to help people get the chaos out of their life and just get crystal clear on what they want.
Nice.
So yeah, you can find me a website, Authentically Yours Development, Facebook, socials, all the stuff. And then of course, I'll have a big launch party when the book comes out. Like, I'm already playing and all that.
Oh yeah, I love lunch parties and dancing. So I will be there.
You'll be there.
Make sure you post it out.
Of course.
Post it on the socials. I'm sure you will.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Jodi. I just love watching how you've grown since
you.
I've known you, since I moved to Omaha, and just I am still watching you grow.
Thank you. Same.
And all the amazing things you're doing.
Yes, and thank you for everything that you do for this community. Like, it's amazing the connections that you have that you make with everybody, and just to let the women find their voices. A lot of times they've never had that exposure, so it's been amazing to watch you grow too.
Well, thank you, Jodi.
Yes.
All right, audience, remember, it's okay to pivot, follow your dreams, do what you love to do. But remember, just do it. Because when you don't, it's called regret. You don't want regrets. You want to pivot, you want to do somersaults, kicks, high boxes, whatever. Just go do it. Be you, have fun, and enjoy life. Thank you.